Adam Roy back again. Back to you with kind of a unique video, something I really haven't done before. About a month ago, my parents upgraded both of their cell phones. They are still with the Straight Talk phone contract, and that's through Walmart. Straight Talk, for those of you that don't know, actually is a service that works through TracFone, but it's specifically done through Walmart. And since they upgraded, they gave me their old phones, and I thought I'd just share with you guys what they were using. Now, there is a third phone here. This is an AT&T phone I picked up at a garage sale a couple of months ago. And I just want to show these off real quick. I am starting to collect these Android phones. Now, this is all I have so far, but, you know, as people upgrade, friends of mine, I'm going to have them ask them if they will just give me their old phones. Because I want to do like an anthology of the different versions of Android, starting, you know, with Android 2, version 2, then of course going to Android 4, and then eventually Android 5. So without further ado, let me go ahead and show you guys these phones. The oldest of these phones is actually this one. This is the AT&T version of the Samsung Galaxy S. This is the very, very first. You can actually hear these are getting notifications. I haven't had them on for a while. This is the very first of the Samsung Galaxy S series. And this phone is in very, very poor condition. First and foremost, the battery does not last very long. I'm lucky to get maybe 4 or 5 hours on one charge. This is running Android version 2. This is a 16 gigabyte phone. On top of the battery being pretty much dead, this phone has a lot of weird quirks. The screen doesn't work very well. It's very slow. When I first got it, the power button, which is on the side here, did not work at all. I actually had to keep banging it against the table, see if that would work. That was one suggestion somebody made, because this phone was notorious for having issues with this power button. Eventually what I did is I took some rubbing alcohol and I actually poured it in there, let it sit for a few minutes, and then took a Q-tip, wiped off what I could. Then I took a little screwdriver and kind of just scraped inside, and finally I was able to get that button working again. So yeah, this one is a 16 gigabyte phone running Android version 2.3, and as you can see, the screen is not very responsive at all. It's almost impossible to get it off the lock screen with one hand. So that's the first phone. The second one I have here is the phone my mom was using up until a month ago. I know. I've been trying to get her to upgrade for the longest time. This is Huawei, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it right, Ascend. I believe this is a 6000 series model. And this one is also running Android version 2.3. I have reset this one since she used it. And I will go in and show you this real quick, since this screen is at least semi-responsive. You can see down here it says Android version 2.3.6 is the exact version. This is the model number H866C, so I guess it would be like an 800 series phone. The battery still holds a great charge on this. I'm shocked, because this phone is all about 4 or 5 years old now. This was just one of those cheap 3G phones they offered back then, but the battery, surprisingly enough, actually holds a very strong charge. But unfortunately, this phone is pretty much useless these days. I mean, you can hook it up if you want, but even YouTube doesn't even play right on here. And of course, because it's Android 2.3, you can't get the latest version of the app. So this phone is definitely going to eventually get lost to the sands of time. But while I have it, I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to keep it charged. You know, like I said, I think it's important to archive and, you know, just save the technology that we've had over the years. As you guys know, I'm a big vintage computer fan, and I definitely want to try and do the same thing with cell phones. Though I must admit, this is not the best example of a phone from its time. And lastly, I have my dad's old phone. This is actually a decent phone. This phone is only about 2 years old. It's the ZTE Unico, and it's actually pretty quick. Let me go over this real quick. This one, I believe, is an 800 megahertz single core processor. This one is an 850 or 900 megahertz single core processor, both ARM CPUs. This one here is actually a 1.5 gigahertz dual core processor. This has a gig of RAM, where the other two here only have 512. And this phone, if it wasn't for one design flaw, would still be in use today. And that is the speaker. You can see the speaker hole right here if my camera will focus. You know what? I just realized I totally messed that up. Ugh. Ugh. I meant to say the microphone. This is what you talk into and people can hear you. Well, unfortunately, the problem with this phone is people can't hear you. When my dad first got this phone, it was okay. Every once in a while, somebody would complain that you couldn't hear him. It would break up, but for the most part, it was decent. However, as time went on, the problem got worse and worse and worse. Talking to somebody on this phone, if it was still activated, is literally like talking to someone down a mine shaft, or somebody who's on a speakerphone who's very, very far away from it. So that is why this phone was actually taken out of service. And like I said, that is the only reason. If that wasn't a problem, he would still be using this phone. And it's really a shame, because other than that, this is a very, very nice phone for what it is. Running Android version 4.1.2. Battery on here still holds a very good charge. Matter of fact, he used to get 3 or 4 days with this on one charge. But he kind of would charge it every night anyway, so that kind of helped keep the battery health up too. I actually am using this as a glorified tablet. You can see I have some of my apps on there. I have CC Cleaner, Grubhub, Fox News is just a news app. I have the CNN app on there too somewhere. 13 News is one of our local stations, the Map My Walk. So if I forget my phone, or if my phone dies, heaven forbid, and I need at least something with me that I can use the apps, then I just carry this. And like I said, other than that, it's in phenomenal condition. The case is a little worse for wear, because he used to put it in his pocket, and you can see it's gotten like some white marks on it, but the phone itself is immaculate. So this was just a quick video of the first 3 cell phones that are going to be included in my cell phone collection, which of course will be growing. Like I said, if I find somebody who's getting rid of a cell phone, I'll ask them if I can have it. If I see anything interesting online, I'll go ahead and pick it up, provided that it's at a good price. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.